What's up everybody, Solid S-Boss coming at you once again with another video. This video I'm going to be kickstarting a brand new series called Stomping onto Godzilla vs Kong, where I'm going to review every movie in the monsterverse leading up to Godzilla vs Kong. Starting off today with Godzilla 2014. So Godzilla 2014, where to begin on this? What I'll just go on a bit of a tangent, to be honest. I'm going to be talking about things that I like, things that I didn't like. It'll all mesh into one. In the end I'll try and summarise a little bit. But yeah, it's just going to be a bit of a mishmash, to be perfectly honest with you. So what I loved, really, I'm going to start off with the monster design, Godzilla specifically. I love this design. For me, up until King of the Monsters, this was the definitive Godzilla design. And what Gareth Edwards, the director, intended was for this Godzilla design to be real. And in 1954, someone had seen that design, seen this Godzilla in real life, drawn him, and that's where 1954 Godzilla came from. And I think they got that spot on. I love the weight behind Godzilla. And if I'm going to go into even more specifics, one of my favourite bits of him was the feet. Now, this had a lot of complaints leading up to the movie. People weren't happy. People wanted more faithful to the high side, really, feet. But in my opinion, where you can't compromise realism, you shouldn't. So he would have needed these big elephant feet, you know, because he's big and he's imposing. And he's got so much weight behind him. And that's what I loved. He felt real. He felt like a real creature, and he felt like he could exist. Onto the Mutos. I mean, I wouldn't say disappointed, but like it's tough because for me, it's every Western monster. So, you know, it's Cloverfield and it's Super 8. We've seen this design before. They're not inspired, in my opinion. I mean, they've got a bit of personality. Again, I love how real they feel. But it's not something that I would have done personally. Yeah, I mean, I would have loved to have taken just a bit more of a risk. But then again, you've got to play it safe with something like Godzilla because you've got to get people who aren't fans invested. I get that. The characters. So the movie stars Bryan Cranston, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Ken Watanabe, Elizabeth Olsen. So mine, like many others' favourite character was Joe Brody, played by Bryan Cranston. I felt a bit shortchanged here because, you know, he's killed off with, what, 45 minutes? Now, he's the best character. I mean, yeah, I've come to watch monsters fight, but I would have happily watched Bryan Cranston on screen for 2 hours. He's just that interesting. He brings characters to life, whether that's good writing or not. But judging by the other characters, it's more Bryan Cranston's performance, let's be honest. Yeah, I mean, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, I like Aaron Taylor-Johnson, but I think he found in the performance a little bit. I don't think he genuinely cared. I mean, there were interviews with him beforehand talking about Godzilla and his relationship, you know, with the Godzilla movies, and he just didn't care. He's saying he's not a fan of the movies, which makes a bit of a difference now that Millie Bobby Brown's starting in them. You watch an interview with Millie Bobby Brown; she's absolutely loving life, playing a part in Godzilla. So yeah, I mean, I just feel like Ken Watanabe was underutilized as well. He was probably the second most interesting character, part of Monarch. You know, doing science stuff is, in my opinion, a lot more interesting than just normal army dude walking down the road. You know, it's just a little bit more interesting because we've seen army dude do this thing millions of times. Maybe not in a monster movie, but something similar. Story, it's fine. Again, it's nothing we haven't seen before, except, you know, I mean, the monsters are the centerpiece, but there's a story that revolves around them, and it's just, what can you do? I mean, it's just get from point A to point B, really, and that's the entire movie. So let's talk about what everyone really wants to talk about, the monster fights. Now, I do enjoy the monster fights, small though they may be. Everyone's issue is the cutaways. I agree. Cutaways should not exist. Now, again, if you want to tease the monsters, don't reveal them fully, only to cut away. In my opinion, what should have happened is leading up to, or throughout the entire movie really, from Godzilla's first appearance and the Muto's first appearance, you should have had little snippets. Like, okay, reveal the Mutos and have them doing, causing mass destruction and havoc. But then Godzilla, you have a tail and you have a hand and a foot, but you don't see him. You do not see his full reveal. Maybe it'll last half an hour, 20 minutes, and then you have this big showdown. But that's where again it cuts short, because even when you have this big showdown in the end, in the actual movie, it starts to cut away again. So, for example, the scene where Godzilla and the female Muto, they lock, and Godzilla's pushing her away, and then it's just like, oh no, we want to go and see Army Dude again, and it's like, no, we don't. We've seen him the entire movie. We don't want to see him anymore. Yeah, I mean, I'm talking as if I don't like the movie. No, it's still my favourite in the monsterverse, and I still think it's a good movie. And I think Gareth Edwards had a vision, and I feel like if he was given the opportunity to do King of the Monsters, I feel like it would have been much better. But we'll get to that again in a couple of videos' time. I feel like Edwards definitely had something in mind, and I do think he had a little bit of creative freedom, but I still feel he was finding his feet. Don't forget, like, had he only directed one movie, which was called Monsters? So I feel he should have been given another chance, whether that was his fault or not. But yeah, I mean, I love how tense this movie is, though. I mean, the scene on the bridge with the train, and you've got Ford, Aaron Taylor-Johnson's character, lying down, and you've got the female Muto like all over, like looking for them. That is brilliant. It's so well done. The pacing. For me, it reminds me of the T-Rex scene from Jurassic Park. At any moment, this could go off. They could be found, and I love that in movies. Good pacing. It just drips with atmosphere, and I think you got that spot on. So if I'm going to summarise with Godzilla 2014, I'm going to say that I really do love the movie. I could watch it again and again and again, but there are things I would have done differently. So, like I say, the cutaways, keep Bryan Cranston's character alive at least for a lot longer. Focus more on Serizawa and his hunt for knowledge in regards to Godzilla and the other monsters. You could completely disregard Army Dude and his family, but that's besides the point. Yeah, if I was to give it a score, I'd probably, now that there's no recency bias, because when I first watched it 7 years ago, I think I gave it like an 8 or a 9 out of 10. I think it's like a 7 out of 10 if I was to give it a score. I'm trying to be completely subjective with it. So yeah, if this is your first intro into Godzilla, if you're looking forward to Godzilla vs Kong but haven't seen the other movies, check it out, because it's definitely a movie that you want to watch if you want to know the origins of Godzilla himself. So thank you for watching. Please join me next time for my review on Kong Skull Island. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Please leave any thoughts in the comments below on this review. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Take care.